Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can, just so we can get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into it, man. The Celtics take a 1-0 series lead against the Atlanta Hawks, winning 112-99. I don't know what to say. I mean, this was an easy game. In the first quarter, the Celtics got whatever they wanted in the paint. They had 20 points in the paint in the first quarter, and Tatum was just, I think he had 13 in that quarter, and every time he drove, got to the basket with ease, and he finished with ease. Even a team that has a guy like Capella, a defender like Hunter and DeJounte, there's just nothing the Hawks can do with guys like Brown and Tatum going downhill every play. And Tatum had no reason to settle for threes. There was no reason for Brown to settle for anything, when literally all they had to do was do one move and go straight line to the paint. And in the first quarter, that's all they did. The Celtics had 29 points. They only hit 2 threes. All the rest of that shit was from directly in the paint or from the free throw line. The offensive rebounds was kind of a problem in the first quarter. Atlanta dominated the Heat in the play-in game. They had an absurd amount of offensive rebounds. We knew the Celtics weren't going to allow it to be that crazy, but they did have 4 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. I think 2 of them was off blocks though, but they had 21 points and 7 of them were off second chance points. So Atlanta's offense was horrible the first quarter. They shot 9 for 25. I don't think they hit a 3. If they did, they hit 1, and it was Trey. But so yeah, the first quarter was just Celtics domination by the eye test and by the stats, but the scoreboard was not that far apart. I think the Celtics was up 29-21 because they had only hit 2 threes. When you don't hit threes, you know, the lead isn't going to be that far off. But the second quarter is where shit got tricky for the Hawks. The second quarter started and Atlanta came out with a little bit more energy. They got a couple early offensive rebounds. They got some points out of it. But then the Celtics just went ballistic from 3. The Celtics scored 45 points on 71% shooting. And this is the difference. They had 20 points in the paint in the second quarter as well as the first quarter, but they hit 7 threes in the second quarter. That's 21 extra points. So now the lead goes from just 8 to 30 in 1 quarter. And it's crazy how that happens, but that's what you get when you play the Celtics in the playoffs. And if this team is locked in, they're moving the ball. They had 17 assists in the first half. When they're passing it like that and they're hitting shots, there's nothing you can do. And when they're locking up like they did in that first half, well, this whole game, the Hawks scored 99 points, which is a rarity in today's league. You're bound to win a lot of games. You're bound to be a championship team. Trae Young went 3 for 11 in the first half with 4 turnovers. It's just the versatility and the amount of people the Celtics can throw at him. Derrick White did a phenomenal job checking him. Smart, doesn't get any easier there. And if he starts to get hot, Tatum put some length on him. Jaylen, and switching wise, Al and Rob did a phenomenal job. When Trey comes off that pick and roll, he doesn't have any favorable matchups, and that's so rare for a team to not have a guy to pick on. Hauser is the worst defender out of the guys that played, so maybe that's a guy you can try to pick on, but Hauser's not sweet either. Yeah, he's not Smart, Tatum, Derrick White, and Rob and them, but Sam Hauser's not just gonna let you go right past him, you know what I'm saying? So you can change your entire offense to go at Hauser, and then you stop scoring, and now you're giving up threes at the other end. This shit ain't gonna move nothing for you. So yeah, the Celtics still, and the whole first half is no Grant, right? So Hauser comes off the bench. Of course, Rob and Brogdon. Come on, yeah, Rob was, that first half from Rob was unbelievable, bro. He was everywhere. He had that block on Jalen Johnson. He was changing shots, getting steals, securing the rebounds, and the Celtics look like, I tell people this all the time, Rob could easily average 10 points if the Celtics hit him when he's open. Bro, the Celtics miss him about 4 to 5 times a game under the basket, either with a smaller guy or he's wide open. And what tends to happen is Rob will be open with his hands up in the paint, and somebody will dribble to the paint instead of passing it to him to get an easy dunk. And I'll be a little heated about that shit. I was like, bro, just pass the ball to him, get your assist, give my man his points. And today, Tatum and Brown both threw lobs to Rob. Brogdon had a nice little bounce pass to him underneath the rim. It's just like he's not peak athletic Rob yet. He's still not that. But if this is the guy that can show up for you in the playoffs, it just raises your ceiling so high. And people need to understand it. This guy's not just an athlete. He's a basketball player. Because even not at his peak athleticism, his hands are so quick. He's so smart. He can pass the ball. I hope they continue to find him because he's the easiest points they're ever going to get. Having a guy that can pace the floor vertically like Rob is just such a bailout. You can just throw the ball up and he'll go catch it. Only 2 Hawk players that shot 3 or more shots shot over 50%. Every Celtics player that shot over 3 shots in the first half shot over 50%. It was just a slaughterhouse in the first half. Now the second half is where people get concerned at, and I totally understand that the Celtics have shown this last season in the playoffs, especially, where they get complacent. They have long stretches where they forget how to play offense, but their defense was so great, it was historic, that even when they went 5 minutes without scoring, they were still somehow in the game. And that's what made it so worse. Like, all they needed was 2 minutes of execution down the stretch. Because when the Celtics beat teams, they blew them out. When they lost close. That was the majority of their playoff run. Being up by 30 in a playoff game, you're not gonna stay up 30 the entire game. So technically it can only get worse as the game goes on. You knew Atlanta was gonna make some type of run. This game was in no type of fear at all of the Celtics losing. But the third quarter Atlanta was scoring kind of easily. They won that quarter 31-20. But then the fourth quarter came around, they cut it to 12, but both teams shot 35% in the fourth quarter. Derrick White hit some huge shots in the third quarter when, like, you know, we weren't hitting anything, we weren't passing the ball, we were just free falling, and the Hawks were pushing the ball. DeAndre Hunter was hitting some shots. So, you know, I don't think I'm concerned about them, about particularly this game getting close in the second half, but I just hope the Celtics learned their lesson about getting complacent and having long stretches of not doing the shit that got them a lead from last year. You know what I'm saying? I want that part of the Celtics to be gone, because that cost them a championship. They slowed down their offense. They had 17 assists in the first half. They ended the game with 25. They stopped playing offense, and they got bored. They were up 30. I don't dispute that, and I know for sure because Tatum had 21 in the first half. He ended the game with 25. If he had to score 40 or 50, he would have did it. You know what I'm saying? I just think they got bored. They started chucking shots up. They stopped playing with a sense of urgency, and that's dangerous. But 30 is a cushion. Let's be real. As much as we hate to have them not put their foot on the Hawks' necks and not have Al play 38 minutes, Tatum and Brown playing large amounts of time, and like have the guys like Grant and Pritchard get some run in a game where you're up 30 points, they really just got bored. And I truly hope I'm right, and it's not late game execution or complacency and shit like that. But onto the players, Jaylen was great tonight. 29 points. There was some concern about the cut he had on his right hand. He looked at it a couple times. It was affecting him a little bit, but he seemed fine. You know, just getting to his spots, and like he gets past people so easy. He rises up, gets to the rim. He's relentless. It was a play on John Collins where John Collins stopped him about 3 times, but Jaylen's footwork and relentless activity trying to score the ball finally got him up in the air, did the feet work, laid it right up. So, I mean, Derrick White, 24 points, 7 assists. He was just one of the main options on Trae Young that kept him closed in for this game 1. Hitting clutch shots, hitting threes, that in-between game where he's hitting floaters over Trae Young. He just, that spin move into the lane, hitting that. This is a totally different. If we had this version of him last year, we win a championship easily. Because there were games where teams were just sagging off of him, even though he's a great passer, he's a great connecting piece, he's a great defender, he rebounds well. You need to be able to score to be your best self. You know what I'm saying? And in the playoffs, more often than not, he wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's why Draymond said in game 1 when Derrick White was hitting all his shots, I was hitting all his shots, he was like, I'll live with that. Because those aren't the guys that I'm worried about. And he was fucking right. As much as I hate to admit it, he was right. Derrick White shooting is not going to kill you. This year, it might kill you. Because he's been doing it the whole year. Career high from 3. He's just been great. He's just been great. Again, Rob, just the impact he brings on the defensive side of the ball. And I think his impact is totally underrated on the offensive side of the ball. He's a top 5 passing center in his league. He's quick. He makes good decisions. He fires passes right when they need it to be made. And again, the vertical spacing is just a bailout option for anybody if they choose to use it. I really hope the Celtics players continue to find him and we get this version of Rob the whole playoffs. I want him to get back to his freakish athletic ways, but again, he's still impactful enough to raise your ceiling if you're the Celtics and he's playing like this. Tatum, again, 21 in the first half, just an effortless first half. Just get into the rim. 13 points in the first quarter again. He shot a couple heat check threes when I was like, you know, you got everything you need at the rim. Like, you get into the rim, you get into the line, keep going. But you know, Tatum, he got to chuck some. And it's Tatum,
especially towards the end of the season.
But I just don't want Tatum to have games where he's taking 12 threes. I think his mentality and his activity cannot waver this season. Last year, especially in the playoffs, I didn't deem him as a superstar because his range of games was way too large. He would have a 46-point game, then come back 2 games later and have 10 points and 6 turnovers. You can't have that bad of a game if you're a superstar. Example, KD, right? Bottled up KD the entire series last year, right? KD still averaged 23 points in that series. A bad game for Kevin Durant is 25 points on 23 shots. You know what I'm saying? Like 25 points on like 42% shooting. Again, Tatum's bad games were 10 points. That can't happen. This year, he sort of figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And he's found other ways to affect the game. Career high in rebounding. His playmaking looks great when he's locked in. He's really improved in that area. And I just need him to continue to be in attack mode. We need grown man Tatum for the rest of this playoffs. There cannot be games where he's getting thrown off his line driving and he's flailing and he can't get a shot off. He's doing too many dribble moves trying to get, no. Use your frame, use your muscles, use your height. Go to the basket, make 1 move or 2 moves, get to the line, get to the basket. When Tatum shoots 10 plus free throws, he averages like 33 points. And that's throughout his whole career. So just continue to be aggressive, be impactful defensively, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Also want to shout out Marcus Smart and Al Horford. Al had a couple of huge blocks and a couple of huge shots to keep Atlanta from getting too close. Smart, again, great defense along with White on Trae Young. Got some great passes. We just need to continue to have these guys play like this for a whole game. I know Atlanta might not require you to play your greatest for the whole game, but as we go on to the Phillies, the Milwaukees, and potentially to the finals, we need to build these habits of not letting our foot off the gas. Because when the teams get better, the leads shrink way faster, and they might actually come back and beat you. So build good habits, you know, keep the guys fresh, you know what I'm saying, and we should be able to hoist banner number 18. That is a goal, of course. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment. I want to talk to Celtics fans. I want to talk to anyone who wants to talk about basketball. So please use that comment section. Also, tell me any other series you want me to like talk about other than the Celtics, if that's what you guys want. But it's Nick. I'll see you next video. Peace.